All right, here we are. UFC 279. Nate Diaz versus Hamzat Chimaev. All right, the early prelims. Darian Weeks versus Johan Lanis. Who you got?
All right. I have Darian Weeks. I picked, I have most of my parlays with Johan Lanesi just because of the value, but I have Darian Weeks winning because I feel like when like Johan in his last fight shows that he fades once he throws all that power out, he kind of blows his wad. And a guy like Darian Weeks, I think he's technical enough and has enough cardio to still be there
Yeah.
in the second, third round. And he might actually put Johan away. But I'm hoping I'm wrong for the sake of my parlays.
Yeah. Darian Weeks is very patient. He has like a really counter striking style, knockout power, a lot of knockouts, a lot of finishes on his record. Johan, same exact thing. A lot of finishes, knockout, explosive, powerful. I have Johan Lenise in this fight. I think Johan knocks him out. I think that Johan is going to learn from his last performance when he was gas, going back to the gym. He fixed those issues a bit, and I think that Darian Weeks, if he had more volume, maybe he'll be a problem. But I think that Darian Weeks' patience and the fact that he starts slow is going to be a problem for him in this fight. I think Johan's going to knock him out in the first round.
Yo, listen, from your mouth to God's ears, like knock his block off. All right.
All right, this one. Melissa Martinez versus Elise Reed. Martinez has been out for like I think 2 years or 3 years. Elise Reed, I haven't been impressed with her in the UFC really, and I have to go with Melissa just due to the fact that when she was active, she was a better striker and a better overall fighter to me. Um, so yeah, I'm going Melissa Martinez.
Right. So you know how they have a list of prospects?
Yeah,
I believe there's also a list of fighters that the UFC is trying to kick out. And
yeah,
I believe
yeah,
Elise Reed is like one of those.
yeah,
So that being said, I believe Melissa Martinez is gonna win this fight,
yeah,
probably by submission.
yeah. It's very likely. All right, second fight. Chad and Helliger versus this guy's name. Man, I don't know. Um, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Chad and Helliger versus the guy from China.
Oh
Uh,
man.
um,
Ala Alat Alat Alatangeli.
yeah,
Alatangele.
yeah. Altangely, I'll say. Chad versus this guy. Chad's, I think he's undefeated. I think, no, if I'm not mistaken, he's undefeated right now in the UFC. Good record. Good fighter. Pretty. Well rounded. Man, tough fight to call. I hope Chad wins. No, okay, he's not undefeated, but he has a lot of wins. His last fights have been pretty good. Pretty good streak. Maybe he's undefeated in his pro fights. I'm not sure, but anyway, both guys are good. Both guys are really good. I'm going with the guy from China. I hope that Chad wins though because of the value and the bets, but I'm going with the China guy. I think that his power. I think finally Chad is going to meet his match. Plus, Chad is getting a bit older as well, and I think that we're going to see a matchup that doesn't favor him this time. And I actually see a finish if he gets finished. If Chad wins, it will be a lot of pressure value, and he win a close decision fight, which I hope happens. But I'm going with the Asian guy. Oh, who you got?
Um, I got Chad. I feel like Chad Ellinger should have the grappling advantage in this fight.
Yep.
Um, I believe that these Chinese fighters in general like are still kind of catching up in the grappling department.
Okay.
And Chad Ellinger can probably expose that.
I hope so. I hope so. That'll be cool. All right. Now, I think this is the featured bout for early prelims. A normal do not. versus Danielle Wolf. Uh, so Norma fought. She fights the featherweight, right? And she looked pretty decent in her fights. Now she's fighting Danielle Wolf, a woman who's making her debut in the UFC. This will be her second pro fight, which is insane. But and she's 39 years old. So some people think that I'm crazy for this pick. Like, oh man, there's no way in hell she's winning this fight. However, the fact her pedigree of boxing accolades, her mentality of just like having that Olympic spirit, I think that might show that she's going to be special in MMA as well. Because from what I heard, the first year of her boxing, she made it to the Olympics.
So she's
Oh
a
yeah,
phenom.
yes, exactly. So she might be a phenom in that way. So because of that, I think that she gets the upset. And with the value, there's no way in the world I'm laying any value on Norma Dumont. It's no way. So it's either dog or pass. I'm going with the dog here. Danielle Wolf, first round knockout. Who you got?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me because I believe Norma Dumont is pretty solid. Like she beat Aspen Ladd.
Yeah,
There's another notable win.
yeah,
I think she might have also beat Felicia Spencer, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I believe so. I believe she beat Felicia Spencer.
yeah.
That being said, that the idea of this matchup is so retarded that you almost have to like say, okay,
You have
like
to. Yeah,
maybe there's something to Daniel Wolf. You
yeah,
guess what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
one pro
Yeah,
fight, two pro fights, whatever it is. If they're matching her against Norma Dumont, someone who has the experience that she has, the UFC sees something, and I smell it too. That's why I have Daniel Wolf in most of my parlays.
yeah. Same here. Same here. Wolf is the value, and I think Wolf, man, if she pulls it off, I think she's like a plus 300 some underdog now, maybe even 400 now. Who knows? But the lines are so insane that you have to go with her.
Yeah, like I get it. I get it that she's an underdog, but her last name says Wolf. So that you know what I'm saying? Like that traditionally a wolf is just going to be stronger than a dog, and I think her chances
Yeah,
are that strong as well.
yeah, yeah. All right, now, man, Jake Collier versus Chris Barnett, heavyweight bout. This is gonna be a sloppy fight, and with two sloppy dudes that are supposed to be middleweights, but they don't have discipline to lose the weight. Um, so it's gonna be a weird fight, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going Jake Collier because of the boxing. But as far as betting wise, there isn't really good value on betting Jake. So the values with Chris Barnett, he's a plus 330 underdog, which is insane. Like Jake is not that great for you to bet. Come on. So with the value, I mean, I think that Jake wins the fight. I think his boxing is Chris. I think that he'll be able to catch Chris Barnett. But I'm gonna gamble on the value of Chris. But as far as the pick, I pick is Jake Collier. But I want Chris to win.
So it's kind of a win-win for you. Like if Barnett wins, you're happy. If Jake wins, you you kind of win. Are you betting? Do you have him on any of your parlays,
I have nothing
Jake?
with Jake on it. No, I
Yeah, I
have
mean,
actually. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I doubt it. I doubt
yeah, me neither. But
it.
I'm gonna go with Chris Barnett on this one. The reason why is because I don't see Jake Collier making this a grind out wrestling match. And because of that, I think Chris Barnett is unpredictable enough to land
Yeah,
something weird.
yeah,
Like this, I mean, this guy is he's kind of like he kind of has a child spirit when it comes to martial arts.
that's
And
true.
people like that are always dangerous. So
Yeah, I agree.
I have Chris Barnett by some funky KO.
Spinning back, her hurricane kick or something.
Yeah.
All right, next fight: Jimmy Pickett versus Dennis Antulian, whatever his name is. The odds are pretty much where they should be, plus 105 versus minus 125. Jamie hasn't been that impressive really in the UFC as of yet. Dennis hasn't shown really to be impressive either. Um, Jimmy Pickett is explosive. He's an athlete, long rangey, but doesn't have the best fight IQ. Dennis has shown to be tough, hard hitter, and strong grappling, but I think Jimmy Pickett is enough of an athlete to knock out and finish this other guy, Dennis.
Are you sure we're not looking at like another situation like Dontel Mays and that Egyptian dude?
I mean, if it was heavyweight, then I would say yeah. But I feel like since they're a smaller weight class and he's an athlete, I feel like he's gonna be able to withstand a better pace at the very least, enough to knock out this guy.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Jamie Pickett only for the fact that as long as he's not fighting someone who's spectacular, it seems like his athleticism literally just wins fights.
Yeah,
Like it could be the worst performance like ever. Like
yeah,
he's like what's his name? What's the name of that guy? What's the name of that guy with the braids that beat Kuta recently? Ryan Span.
Ryan Span. Yeah,
He's like he's like Ryan Span on Wish. And
yeah, yeah,
and Ryan Span is like Ngannou on Wish.
yeah,
So he's like like a bootleg of a bootleg in a sense, right?
yeah,
So however, this dude Dennis is not special enough to offset that athleticism, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Next fight, Gelton Almeida versus Anton Turkalov. Um, Gelton Almeida is a phenom. He's a phenom of a wrestler. Crazy strong top pressure when he's in those positions. This guy's a scary guy. The guy he's fighting is making his debut in the UFC. Now, he's a huge underdog. The one thing that I will say about him that people can kind of maybe like, if you're wishing to like throw something on him, is that he's training with Hamzat. He trains with Hamzat. So maybe that gives you some belief that he'll pull up upset and defend the takedowns or whatever. I don't know, but I can't, go against, Jalton Almeida. Plus, too, this is also a catchweight bout. So he's going up to heavyweight to fight this guy. So, but Jalton, I can't go against him. So that's the pick. As far as betting wise, the best route is to avoid this fight completely. Avoid this fight. If you have a lot of parlays, then sprinkle a few on the underdog, but don't put the dog in all parlays and don't put him in any parlay on Jalton Almeida because there's no value in that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Charlton Almeida because it's one thing to train with Hamzat. It's another thing to be Hamzat. Because you understand what I'm saying? Like this
Yeah,
guy is kind of like a bigger Hamzat. And it's also important to note that Darren Till trains with Hamzat. But it doesn't mean that he's gonna be able to beat a guy like Charlton Almeida. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So yeah, it helps. It helps if he's going against like another striker or something like that. But he's going against another phenom, another Hamzat style, and this guy is he has those same skill sets. So Jalton Almeida by murder.
Okay. Hakeem the Mean Dawadu versus Julian Erosa. All right, Julian's underdog. Great matchmaking. I actually like both these guys' styles. Julian's really kind of wild, rangy. Likes to scrap, fun style. Um, Dawadu is really, really nice striker, clean striking. Not so much of a brawler, not so much of like a scrappy guy. We haven't seen that yet, but he's a really technical striker. You know, great fight stylistically. I think that this fight favors Dawadu because Julian has a lot of pressure. He's gonna come in like one in the scrap, sometimes kind of wild. I think when you're fighting a sniper like Dawadu, who's not really always a finisher, I think this style kind of leans towards him finishing Julian Rosa, like getting quite clean with something coming in. You know what I mean? So I have to go with Dawadu. And like betting wise, I'm not sure like the plus over unders whatever, but
Plus 185 for Julian Rosa.
yeah, if there's a if there's a value of this fight going over 1.5 or over 2.5, I bet that rather than betting a fighter. Um, because I feel like both these guys are durable enough and they fight smart enough to not get cleaned that early. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a back and forth first before someone gets cleaned up. So I'm going with Dawoodu knockout. I'd say late second round stoppage.
I agree. Like Juliana Rosa is a bit of a psychopath. That's why I enjoy watching him fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the thing is, when you're watching like a guy with like psychopathic tendencies fight, they're very willing to just get in the fire and just, you know, give whatever they have to give.
yeah,
Now, Hakeem Dawodu has a perfect style to exploit that. Like he has a countering ability, he has a tight guard, he has very clean striking. And also, I believe he has a better gas tank than Julian Rosa. So
yeah,
I think Hakeem is a pretty comfortable pick.
yeah. I agree. All right, next fight, co-main event: Johnny Walker versus Kutalaba. No, no. Wait, hold on.
That's the main card.
This isn't okay. So okay, never mind. So the main card, main card. Wow, the main card is stacked. All right, Johnny Walker versus Kutalaba. Early in the week, I had Kutalaba because of the streak that Walker was on. The chin is compromised. Kutalaba has a lot of pressure. First round, he's going to try to kill you in the first round, whether it's standing up or on the ground. However, I'm going Johnny Walker. I changed my pick to Johnny Walker. I think Johnny Walker pulls it off. I think that he's rangy enough, and I think that he is not going to get caught like clean in the first round the way like Jamal Hill caught him and just like made him fall like a damn tree. I think that Johnny Walker is going to be able to actually withstand the first round, and Kutalaba usually kind of fades a bit, you know, because he puts so much in the first round finish that sometimes he's if he doesn't get that, he's like a different fighter in round two or round three. I think Johnny Walker is good enough actually to maybe win a decision too. I think that he's gonna fight very smart, similar to how he fought Santos, even though he lost that fight. He's gonna fight very. Wait, hold on. I'm not sure who won that fight, but I think Santos won that fight still, right? Or did Johnny Walker win that fight?
Santos.
Santos won. Yeah, he fought a very smart fight from range. I think that Walker is going to fight smart enough to where he actually can pull it off and win. He's tall enough. He has a range enough. I think Kutalaba is going to try to destroy him in the first round, and Walker's going to somehow withstand that. Hell, I might even see a Ryan Spann situation. Like Ryan Spann hurt Johnny Walker bad, dropped him twice, and Walker still finished him in that first round. So I'm going Johnny Walker here. What you got?
All right, so you mentioned that Kutalaba is going to try to kill you in the first round.
Yeah.
He just might. Like he just might kill.
you might. You might.
He just might. Like he has that kind of style, and we've
Yeah.
seen him give murderous performances in the first round, like murderous performances,
Yeah.
like where he's framing a dude, like and just raining elbows, where he ground and pounds a dude, where he's gone ham on like quite a few people.
Yeah.
That being said, Johnny Walker is an extremely gifted athlete, so I'm not ready to give up on him completely yet. I think he's gonna have enough grappling ability to not just get steamrolled because
Yeah. Yeah.
when you look at his fight with when you look at Johnny Walker's fight with Nikita Krylov, that had some grappling in it,
It did.
and Nikita Krylov edged the win, but I don't know if Kutalaba is a better grappler than Nikita Krylov. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that. I think
I agree.
they're probably around the same. So that being said, I think Johnny Walker's athleticism will get him through. But again, one caveat: he might actually get killed in the first round.
Yeah. If
So,
he
but
can't.
I'm
Yeah.
my official pick, Johnny Walker, um, round two KO.
Next fight. I love this fight. Irene Aldana versus Michi Chezon. Um, minus 175 versus plus 150. So I think that I've always been high on Aldana for a while now. I've been high on her for a while. I love her fighting style. I love her boxing. Nice hands, rangy fighter, and her grappling has improved. We've seen her improve in those positions when she's like against the cage and being wrestled. We've seen her improve little by little each fight. I think that she know Macy here is going to try to grapple her mainly. I don't see Macy being able to strike with Aldana. You know, she's a boxer from Mexico. You know, she got those hands. I want to see her knock out Macy Chezon. I want to see her knock her out in this fight. She has the power to. She has the skills to. You know what? My official prediction is Macy Chezon first round TKO. I mean Aldana first round TKO. I see Macy trying to pressure her against the cage. I see Aldana getting her backed up, finishing her. It's getting cracked with strikes. Chezon's gonna hide, cover up. Referee stop. Herb Dean stop the fight. TKO first round. All right, who you got?
Well, listen, man, Irene Aldana is gonna knock the tattoos off of Macy Chezon. She's gonna knock her block off. Her hair is gonna go from silver to black. That's that. That's all I got on that one.
Oh, great fight here. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Barriquez. Great
Oh,
fight. Great fight,
this
man.
one's tough.
It's a tough one. So basically, I haven't seen anything in Daniel's fighting record in the UFC that makes me believe that he's a lesser fighter than Kevin Holland. I haven't seen any evidence of that. It's just that the evidence that I've seen of Kevin Holland fighting elite competition back to back to back is just a little more, and he's more active and he has the range. So I have to go with Kevin Holland. But Daniel can for sure win this fight. He can win this fight. He has great boxing, good wrestling, great fight IQ. He could win this fight, but I have to go with Kevin Holland just slightly based upon the range and the schedule he's had and who he's fought.
So Kevin Holland, now Daniel Rodriguez is a cleaner striker.
Yeah.
However, in the past, Kevin Holland has done extremely well against linear fighters. Kevin Holland is more of a lateral fighter. Like he's
Yeah.
more creative. Like he could throw anything at you.
Yeah.
And he's always trying to finish the fight. You know, he beat Jeff Neal. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal is might be a better version of a guy like Daniel Rodriguez. You know, so in my opinion, he has more power. He's just as technical. He gives you a lot of different looks, and Kevin Holland was able to finish that guy. You know, so I think whenever Kevin Holland doesn't have a wrestling threat, um, he really shines.
Yeah.
I think we're in for another streak, another Kevin Holland streak. So
I agree.
I'm going Kevin Holland. I'm going Kevin Holland. Second round TKO.
Okay. You Kevin Holland, yeah. And also it's also at a catch weight. Catch weight and short notice, I believe, for Daniel Enriquez. That also makes me favor Kevin Holland more.
Yep, and activity as well.
Now, the Leech versus El Kukui. Man, this is a scary fight. This is a scary fight for me. Um, Tony Ferguson even looks like he looks different, even in the photo on the website. Ferguson is fighting this at a welterweight, so he's going up weight class. He's fighting at his a weight class that he was doing, pretty good at, right? He's fighting there, but why? Why is he fighting there? Like, I wonder about that. Is it because he feels like he'll have more success? Is he getting older and it's harder for his body to cut the weight? Like, why is he fighting there at welterweight now? He is getting older. His hair is gray now. Um, man, and the leech is a scary guy, man. The leech throws a lot of bombs at you. He has good boxing, good pressure. He will walk you down and take one to land one. The leech is no joke. Plus, still, he's added movement. He's added more movement to his fighting style, which is why, man.
He has combos now.
Yeah, right.
like nasty combos.
I hope Ferguson gets a Darth choke. I hope Ferguson catches the neck. I hope Ferguson pulls off some kind of, whatever. I mean, hopes he throws sand and it gets some crazy roll, some kind of crazy Illuminati roll submission or something. I hope Ferguson pulls it off. But logically speaking, I have to go with the Leech. I have to go with the Leech, just knocking out Ferguson in a vicious way. That's like a devastating knockout.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
unpopular opinion. Um, I went back and forth with this a few times, but I'm actually gonna go with Tony Ferguson. Now, the reason why is because when I really break down Tony Ferguson's losses, it's to all elite fighters in that division. The lightweight division is arguably the best division in the UFC, right? So you look at his losses, they were against Charles Oliveira, the current champion. I don't care what anyone says.
Chandler.
Michael Chandler, right? Chandler, who almost took out the current champion. Um, what was it again? Justin Gaethje, and what was the other guy? Dariush.
Ayush.
All these all these guys can be champions on any given
That's
night.
true. Very true.
Um, um, like Leach is a great fighter, but I don't believe he's one of the standout fighters in the welterweight division. I don't believe he's a special fighter. I think he's really good. I think he's a very solid fighter in the welterweight division, but I don't ever see him like being a champion
Yeah.
or even coming close or even coming close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second, I think Tony Ferguson's durability is gonna be more present
Right.
being in a higher weight division.
I was
I think
yeah.
he might be I think he might be faster. I think he might be faster than the Leech because
Mm,
he's so used to getting all those looks from these other lightweights. And I think he has a submission threat. The only thing that worries me about Tony Ferguson is that he just got knocked out like soccer kicked
yeah.
like 4 months ago,
Months ago, yeah.
you know, and that 4 months ago. That's the only thing that really concerns me. But if I really break down Tony Ferguson and how sharp he looked before he got knocked out against Chandler, and his tenacity, um, I could see him getting it done because he kind of reminds me of Chris Weidman. Like Chris
Okay.
Weidman had this stretch where he would just like almost win, and then he came across what's his name, Gaslam, and somehow submitted him. So I think Leach is like the Gaslam in this situation.
Man, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right because even though Leach is not like elite championship caliber, when you have so many wars, the caliber of fighters that you lose to sometimes starts to drop too. And when you get knocked out so viciously over and over again, and you get older. So, but I hope that you're right. I do think that he'll be more durable. So that might favor him, but the least those bombs, man. Man, like, but I hope that Ferguson wins this fight. But yeah, all right. The main event, Hamzat Chimaev. You want to kill everybody? Kill everybody. I don't care. Kill everybody. Hamzat versus Nate Diaz. This is a fight. This is a fight. I think that Nate, these lines are absolutely absurd. Like this line is absurd. Negative 1050
Dude, that is
favorite.
disgusting.
You have to bet Nate Diaz. Like if you're betting,
Yo,
come on.
no bullshit. I put $20 on Nate to win inside the distance. To win
Wow.
inside the distance.
How much
I
is
put twenty
the
dollars.
value?
It's 20. I got it at plus 900.
Oh, nice.
So
Even better.
it was like $20 to win 220.
Nice, nice.
You know what I mean? So, well, actually, it was actually inside the distance was plus 1100. Because to me, if Nate is gonna win, he's gonna win like like before the bell. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He's not. I don't see him winning a decision. So
yeah,
I did inside the distance.
yeah. So I see. So for me to pick is an obvious Hamza. It's an obvious pick for me. Obvious pick for me. But I'm picking Hamza only because of how he's looked his last few fights. Like dude looks like he's a freaking like he was bred in the laboratory to fight. You know what I mean? But with these lines, man, Nate is being completely disrespected. Nate Diaz is a veteran. Nate Diaz has shocked the world before with Conor McGregor. He shocked the world and finished him. You know, hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. You know, he's
Almost finished Leon Edwards.
how much minutes he Leon Edwards, Leon Edwards. You know, the way that Leon finished, what's his
Yeah,
name? He did the
yeah.
same to freaking Leon. He almost
Hmm.
finished him in the last round.
Yep.
Nate Diaz still has good boxing. He's a veteran, which means the fight IQ is gonna be there. He's durable as hell. It's almost impossible to finish him unless you kick him like in the head with a shot that he doesn't see. Like the shots that he sees coming, you won't finish him. You know. But what scares me is that if Hamzat cuts him, the fight might be stopped because of of bleeding. You know, something dumb like that.
Yeah.
I do think that Nate Diaz has a chance. I think Diaz's boxing might be more sneaky than Gilbert, and especially in a southpaw stance or like fighters who are sitting stance, whatever. He has a beautiful 1-2 that they can't even like pop pop, like right like not 1-2 but pop pop like a nice flow with his 1-2 he got.
Hmm.
They can catch you with. But this is powerful too, you know.
Right.
So I think that he has a chance striking, and I think that he's good off his back enough to where he might be able to submit him. And with the injuries of wrestling, he might be able to grab a neck or something when what's his name's entering for submission. So I think that Nate Diaz is a live dog here, but I have to go with the obvious pick of Hamza here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the lines are the way they are for a reason.
Yeah,
However, they're extremely actually no, you know what? Scratch that. The lines are extremely disrespectful.
yeah,
Like because Nate Diaz has too many threats. There's too many threats that Nate Diaz brings for the lines to be at that level. Like think about this. Like you mentioned it already. He has a submission threat. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu last time I checked. Hamzat is not, right? Nate Diaz is probably a better boxer than Hamzat. Probably a better boxer than Hamzat. Now Hamzat has power advantage, but Nate Diaz has crazy durability. I mean, Nate Diaz doesn't even I think he's only been finished one time in his career, and that was like way back by a head kick.
yeah,
I mean, that's like taking a bat to the
yeah,
dome.
yeah,
Plus, 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 Nate Diaz also has the mental warfare aspect. The mental warfare aspect, like while the fight is going on, is a whole different kind of animal. You know what I mean? Plus, he
yeah,
has a veteranship. Plus, he has a veteranship. Plus, he has the cardio. Yes, people say that Hamzat is a machine, but is your cardio still going to be a machine when you realize that you haven't put this guy out
yeah, yeah,
in the first 3 rounds?
yep,
When you have that, are you going to have that adrenaline dump?
yeah.
Because in that case, the cardio that you've built doesn't even matter.
Doesn't,
It
yep,
comes down to will at that point. Man, I definitely talk myself into putting at least putting $20 on Nate, and I have a
yeah,
couple of parlays with Nate.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Now, real quick, I'm gonna give the fans just like one Hail Mary parlay, real quick. You know, all right. Now, I would say Dawadu, Johnny Walker, Aldana, Delich, and if you want to add someone who's really crazy value wise, I'll say add Daniel Wolf. Wolf will add your parlay, whatever it is, $5, $10. It will add it like from like 10 to like 100. Like the odds are crazy for her. So yeah. Any parlays you want to give the fans?
Um, I was looking at Daniel Wolf
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Daniel Wolf.
Yeah, I was looking at Daniel Wolf. Weeks.
Darian Weeks.
Barnett. Something
Barnett.
weird. Tony Ferguson.
That's a that one is a very high risk, high reward parlay. But actually, no, low risk, high reward because like you got $5. I'm pretty sure that's pretty damn good. You know, you got $10. It's pretty damn good for that parlay. All right, that I believe we are finished